6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news, edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is to present the Budget 2024 in Parliament tomorrow. The Minister of Transport, Dr. Bandula Gudavardhana, says the policy on electric mobility will be implemented prior to the end of the year 2023. The National Dengue Control Unit launches a 5-day special dengue control program. The Building Research Institute extends landslide warnings. A school holiday for all Tamil schools tomorrow. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says Israel will maintain control of the Gaza Strip after its conflict with Hamas ends. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, will present the Budget 2024 in Parliament on the 13th of November at 12 noon. The debate on the second reading of the 2024 budget will begin on November 14th and continue for 7 days until the 21st of November. Following the debate, the vote on the second reading of the budget will be taken on the 21st of November at 6 p.m. The committee stage debate or the third reading debate on the budget will begin on the 22nd of November and continue until the 13th of December. The vote on the third reading of the budget 2024 will be taken on the 13th of December at 6 p.m. The State Minister of Finance, Dr. Ranjit Siambalapitiya, told the media that none of the demands presented with regard to budget 2024 would be discarded. He also highlighted the importance of deliberation on all economic issues. He said a salary hike for state sector employees is to be proposed in the upcoming Budget 2024, with President Wickremesinghe also promising to request the private sector to increase the salaries of employees following an unprecedented rise in the commodity prices. The Minister of Transport, Highways and Mass Media, Dr. Bandula Gudavardhana, says the policy on electric mobility will be implemented prior to the end of the year 2023. Speaking at a function held in the BMICH to mark the World Public Transport Day, the Minister said that in view of the economic situation in Sri Lanka, the conversion to electricity as an alternative energy source is a must instead of using fossil fuels. Addressing the program, the Minister added that the development of electric vehicles in the island nation was held back in the past due to the high retail cost and low acceptance by customers, most significantly as there are not enough recharging and refueling points. He said a large part of the infrastructure needed to get these vehicles on other roads is still being developed. The Minister said that the Transport Ministry is committed to facilitate and support the industry with the support of other related ministries. The government is taking expertise advice to launch the project successfully, the Minister added. The Director of the National Dengue Control Unit, Dr. Nalin Aryaratne, says that a 5-day special dengue control program is organised and initiated today in the districts of Colombo, Gampaha and Kalutara. He said that the current rainfall could lead to a future increase in dengue cases, and the unit took measures to launch the program due to the increase in daily dengue cases. Dr. Aryaratne stated that advised residents to remove potential mosquito breeding sites in their surroundings. The Dengue Control Unit said the total has surpassed 70,000, with 2,300 cases reported this month alone as of today. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Celsius. Live the life you want.
The Building Research Institute says that landslide warnings were extended to the Badulla, Kagala, Ratnapura, Colombo, Hambantota, Kandy, Kurunegala, Matara and Kalutara districts. The Department of Irrigation adds that the flood warning issued to the Nilbala River still is effective. In the meantime, 2 people were injured after a mound of earth collapsed in line rooms in an estate in Haliala. The Assistant Director of the Badulla District Disaster Management, ELM Udayakumara, says they are currently receiving treatment at the Badulla Hospital. 25 people from 5 families have been been directed to safe areas. The Department of Irrigation says that 39 reservoirs are overflowing due to heavy showers. The Director of the Water Management at the Department of Irrigation, Sudarshani Vidanapatran, says that the sluice gates will be open to release 11,200 cubic feet of water per second to the Dadru Oya. She says that flood warnings were issued to low-lying areas in Nikavaratia, Rasanayakapura, Kobegane, Ingiriya and Panduwasanuvara. The Education Ministry announces a school holiday for all Tamil schools tomorrow as the Deepavali festival falls today. Deepavali is celebrated today and teachers and students will not be attending schools on the following day, so the ministry has decided to grant this holiday. However, the Education Ministry has also announced that schools must be held on the 18th of November, that's a Saturday, to cover the syllabus.
People's Bank Excelsior, a comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you. People's Bank Excelsior, for professionals who dare to dream.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe, in his capacity as a Minister of Finance, will present the Budget 2024 in Parliament on the 13th of November at 12 noon. The debate on the second reading of the 2024 budget will begin on the 14th of November and continue for 7 days until the 21st of November. Following the debate, the vote on the second reading of the budget will be taken on the 21st of November at 6 p.m. The committee stage debate on the third reading debate on the budget will begin on the 22nd of November and continue till the 13th of December. The vote on the third reading of the Budget 2024 will be taken on the 13th of December at 6 p.m. The State Minister of Finance, Dr. Ranjit Siambalapita, told the media that none of the demands presented with regard to the Budget 2024 would be discarded.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
And now in Watchlight, Consultant diabetologist and endocrinologist Professor Prasad Katalanda of the National Hospital of Sri Lanka warns that Sri Lanka falls among the top 10 countries of having the highest rates of diabetes in the world. He urges that immediate action is needed to counter the alarming trend of a majority of adults in urban areas either having diabetes or being in the pre-diabetes stage. Professor Katalanda says that the answer to the danger of diabetes is major lifestyle changes, not only among adults but both the old and young and also children. That came to you in Watchlight. In world news headlines, Prime Minister Netanyahu says Israel will maintain control of the Gaza Strip after its conflict with Hamas ends. Hundreds of thousands rally in London demanding Gaza ceasefire. Australia offers climate refuge to Tuvalu citizen. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will maintain control of the Gaza Strip after its conflict with Hamas ends. Netanyahu told reporters on Saturday that the Palestinian Islamic group has lost control of northern Gaza. He said the Israeli military will keep control over the enclave from a security standpoint to prevent terror attacks from happening again. The Prime Minister warned the Lebanon-based Shia militant group Hezbollah, which is carrying out attacks on Israel from southern Lebanon. He said the group should not make the wrong decision to enter the conflict, which would be a fatal mistake and determine the fate of Lebanon. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah said in a televised address on Saturday that the only way to stop resistance movements in Iraq, Lebanon and Yemen is to stop the fighting in Gaza. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered in central London to march in solidarity with Palestine, chanting "Stop bombing Gaza" and "Ceasefire now." Met Police said about 300,000 people attended the pro-Palestine march, which wound its way from Hyde Park to the US Embassy about 5 kilometers away. The National March for Palestine on Saturday is the latest in a series of rallies in the British capital to show support for the Palestinians since Israel launched an air and ground offensive on the Gaza Strip following Palestinian group Hamas's attacks on southern Israel on the 7th of October. The march took place as right-wing counter-protesters clashed with the police after a week of angry debate over whether to permit the event in support of Palestinians to take place on Armistice Day, which marks the end of World War I and commemorates those killed in military action. Australia has offered refuge to citizens of Tuvalu because of the catastrophic impacts of climate change in a landmark new pact. Tuvalu, a series of low-lying atolls in the Pacific, is among the nations most at risk from rising seas. It is home to 11,200 people and has repeatedly called for greater action to combat climate change. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese described it as a groundbreaking agreement. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. Prime Minister Netanyahu says Israel will maintain control of the Gaza Strip after its conflict with Hamas ends. Hundreds of thousands rally in London demanding Gaza ceasefire. Australia offers climate refuge to Tuvalu citizen. That was World News.
Development News.
The Airport and Aviation Services Limited has again shown its resilience by earning a revenue of 28.5 billion rupees during the period of January 1st to September 30th, 2023. The chairman of the Airport and Aviation Services, retired Major General G.H. Chandrasiri, stated this is an increase of 57% compared to the same period in 2022, and this is a remarkable achievement, as has shown that the institution has shown the company's commitment towards operating the organization in a profitable way, setting an example to other state-owned enterprises in Sri Lanka.
Moving on with sports news.
The Sri Lanka cricket team apologised to the cricket-loving public of the country following the team's disappointing showing at the ongoing 2023 ICC Cricket World Cup held in India. Sri Lanka captain Kusal Mendis issued the apology on behalf of the squad during a press conference held at the Sri Lanka Cricket's head office today. Furthermore, Captain Kusal Mendis asserted that the Sri Lanka team was not under any threats or external pressures to underperform during the tournament. Meanwhile, consultant coach of the Sri Lanka cricket team, former captain Mahela Jayawardena, stated that they hope the suspension imposed by the International Cricket Council on Sri Lanka cricket will be lifted soon so that the team will be allowed to play.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Japan's government has decided to set up a fund of 1 trillion yen over 10 years for the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency JAXA to boost space-related businesses in the country. Global competition in space exploration is intensifying, with the private sector including Elon Musk's SpaceX participating in the field. The Space Strategy Fund is aimed at achieving the government's goal of doubling the domestic space-related market from about $26 billion to $52 billion in the early 2030s. The government plans to allocate the funding to companies, universities and other entities to support the development of space technology.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news, the Minister of Trade Nalin Fernando has asserted that the necessary measures will be taken to seal all warehouses that do not release sugar stocks. Speaking to the media, the Minister noted that such efforts against the recently introduced maximum retail price for sugar will not be tolerated. He further stated that information has also been received that several vendors continue to sell sugar at higher prices than the stipulated maximum retail price, and notes that measures will be taken against such vendors too.
Weather report.
The Met Department has issued an amber level advisory for heavy rains in the western, central, Sabaragamuwa, southern, eastern and Kurunegala and Polonnaruwa districts. The Met Department said showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the northern, north central and eastern provinces. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, central, Sabaragamuwa, southern and eastern provinces and in the Kurunegala and Polonnaruwa districts. Showers may occur in the coastal areas of the western and southern provinces in the morning too. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during the thunder showers. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is to present the Budget 2024 in Parliament tomorrow. The Minister of Transport, Dr. Bandula Guruvardhana, says the policy on electric mobility will be implemented prior to the end of the year 2023. The National Dengue Control Unit launches a 5-day special dengue control program. The Building Research Institute extends landslide warnings. A school holiday for all Tamil schools tomorrow. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says Israel will maintain control of the Gaza Strip after its conflict with Hamas ends. That concludes this news broadcast. You are with Radio Sri Lanka on a rainy Sunday evening here in Colombo.